Brian Kochberger, accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students last fall, was not at the scene of the crime, his attorneys suggested Tuesday, although they have yet to provide evidence or details about his whereabouts. Kochberger is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in the November 13 slayings of 21-year-olds Kaylee Goncalves and Madison Mogan and 20-year-olds Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin, who were fatally stabbed at their off-campus home in Moscow. He pleaded not guilty at his trial, which is scheduled for October. Evidence establishing that Mr. Kochberger was not at the King Road address will be presented in accordance with the rules of discovery and evidence and the requirements of law, Attorney Ann Taylor wrote in a statement filed Tuesday with the court. The murders and the drawn-out investigation have rattled the public in Moscow, a city of 25,000 people that hasn't had a homicide since 2015. After 7 weeks of scant information and heightened anxiety, Kochberger, a graduate student at nearby Washington State University, was arrested on the other side of the country at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. He has since been in police custody and held without bail. Prosecutors will seek the death penalty, according to court documents. The case file filed Tuesday focused on Kochberger's alibi. A defendant's denial of the charges against him is not an alibi, but once he presents evidence that he was at a location other than where the crime with which he is charged was committed, he raises the defense of alibi, the filing said. It is anticipated that this evidence may be presented by cross-examination of witnesses presented by the state and by calling experts, the statement said. Kochberger stands firm on his constitutional right to remain silent and to testify on his own behalf, the attorney said. Latah County prosecutors and attorneys are disputing whether DNA evidence found at the crime scene was planted there. Investigators say DNA matching Kochberger's was found on the sheath of a ka-bar knife allegedly used in the murder that was never recovered. In its arguments, the state asks the court and Mr. Kochberger to assume that it was Mr. Kochberger and not someone else who placed the DNA on the sheath during an investigation that involved hundreds of law enforcement officers and apparently at least one laboratory, which the state declines to name, Kochberger's attorney said in a June statement. If the defendant wishes to explore the theory that his DNA was found on the sheath of the ka-bar knife, he is free to do so, the state responded in a subsequent July 14 court filing. A 37-day suspension of Kochberger's trial dates was granted, but Judge John Judge made it clear that the postponement did not apply to other elements of the trial, including the alibi deadline set for Tuesday.